Okay, let's go and jump some rank games with the Ranger and see what I can do today. So I do have build ID in mind. With this dude right here, we're going to try to get as much Hyper Hedgehogs as possible. And we do get a Twine Badge. Twine Badge could be kind of awesome. But I'm going to start up by grabbing ourselves a little short bow. And I do want to roll looking for a whetstone. I'm going to take these items for now. Let's take a stone. I'm not going to take the Twine Badge today. Come on, Amulet Wells. Amulet of Energy. Maybe not the best. I'm going to waste some gold rolling. And I'm going to waste one more gold roll. We do get a whetstone. We probably should have taken that spikes as well so we can craft up a little shard bow, but it is what it is. I'm going to move on with this. Now, it's not going to be the best round one because we're not crafting up a hero sword. We're not crafting up our little shard bow. So we're going to be a small bit behind. Since we also took this amulet, that doesn't really help us out right now. We could have actually targeted something like our wooden sword, which would make a lot of sense. Are we going to be able to take on this mage though? With the frying pan, we're going to have lots of damage. Magic for Dummies has been buffed. And unfortunately, yeah, we just end up falling short. Well, let's craft up our hero sword. Let's grab a big old banana. Let's grab the stone. Let's roll once. Let's grab this bit of storage for now as well. Now, I'm also going to grab the armor. I'm also going to grab the walrus tusk. And we're going to craft up our little shard bow in the next rounds. But it would be nice to have our hero sword by now. And it would be nice to be crafting up our tusk poker in this round. But taking the amulet has kind of delayed that a little bit. But if it's Amulet Wells, then it was definitely going to be worth it. But so far, smashing still. Definitely smashing. Now, I'm going to be taking Slime Time. I want to take Slime Time. We could take Shielded, we could take Double Rainbow, but I'm going to take Slime Time because I'm going to be wanting to go for a card Goobert today. So it means we're going to be getting our puzzle bag. What the hell am I talking about? Little Gooblings. We do get a puzzle bag, which I'm going to take as well. And let's grab this for now. And then I'm going to craft up a little tusk poker. I'm going to have our puzzle bag in this position, which is going to trigger our items 20% slower for the first 5 seconds of the fight. But after that, it's going to trigger everything 50% faster. Which is going to be awesome. We do have to survive for the first 5 seconds of the fight though, and then our goobling, our little slime time, and then our hero sword and our shard bow goes crazy. So hell, we should be able to smash down this mage with no problem. They're going to get a lot more max life with the magic for dummies. But amazing. Let's grab our armor. Let's roll once. I was hoping for something other than a fanny pack because we need a lot more storage. And speaking of a lot more storage, hell yeah, I'd gladly take that. But for now, I'm definitely going to move on with this. Our little gooblings, our banana should be able to heal for a lot more. Puzzle bag is going to be increasing all these items as well. Amounts of energy to target slime time, so it triggers a little bit faster at the beginning anyway. So this should be smashing because we just want to activate our gooblings as much as possible. So we get tons and tons of heals, we do survive for a long time, we stack up our spikes, our opponent takes a lot of damage. And awesome. We almost got hammer daggered to the face though. Now that's a freaking mana orb, which honestly, at this point I've played so much mage, I've played so much other characters. That's gonna be crazy not to take the mana orb. Let's take our little goobling and let's roll again. I'm gonna roll quite a lot because I do want to find ourselves a bunch of cards. So I'm gonna keep rolling for now. Let's roll. I will gladly take this bit of storage. Let's keep rolling. Set of blueberries, which is not exactly what I want. So I'm just going to take the set of blueberries for now. I'm going to take the set of blueberries. I'm going to rock on once again. I didn't want to waste any more gold rolling. And we are taking on a Burning Blade already. Hunger Blade type situation with the Pyromancer. Which could be kind of scary, especially with the Island. They're going to get lots and lots of scaling damage. And they're going to have lots of heals with Vampirism. So I'm not sure if we're going to be able to outpace his opponents. To be quite honest. Unless we stack up an insane amount of spikes. But the likelihood of that is going to be relatively low based on how much damage they're going to scale up. So unfortunately, yeah, we do want to fall short. We did get a ruby egg, which I'm not going to be taking. We do get our gloves, we get our carrot, and we get our amulet on sale, which is another amulet of energy. And I immediately want to go for a different build. I'm going to roll again. We're definitely going to need the storage. So with 2 amulets of energy, we really want to use items that use up buffs. And the build I'm going for isn't really going to use up buffs. So it's going to be crazy not to actually use these. Maybe we could add in some glowing crowns. And get some invulnerability for such a long period of time. If you want that. But can we take on this Hero Long Sword Dagger type build? Definitely so. And your lightsaber, we could go for light gooberts. Let's grab a little goobling. Let's roll again. Let's keep going. Can we grab an extra car? Hell yeah. We got our first rogue pot, which we're going to have to grab as well. And we still need to grab ourselves another pair of gloves. So I'm going to sell you to take this. We need to keep our luck as well. And I'm thinking about selling a little goobling to roll once again. And unfortunately, we are going to have to move on. We're going to craft up our gooberts, get our card goobert online, and we'll see how we get on with this for now. We need more rogue pots though, because we're going to be crafting up those hyper hedgehogs like crazy. So we're going to need hedgehog, we're going to need these potions. Now unfortunately, one of the best builds, or one of the most crazy builds for the ranger, involves using these to craft up those Thorn Blooms and going infinite life stacking with the card gooberts. But if you're crafting up hyper hedgehogs, you can't craft up Thorn Blooms unless you have an excess amount of these rogue pots, and it's pretty damn tough to get an insane amount of the same items. But hell yeah, we managed to beat down our Reaper, which is not too bad. Now if we're going for hyper hedgehogs, we're going to want the big bowl of treats. We get our pair of gloves, and we also get a rat. Now since we have the puzzle bag, we want to grab as much of these as possible, just so we have a chance of getting an extra bag. Now do we want a rat chef? I don't think so. I would gladly take another rogue pot, and I do want to grab this pineapple. Now I'm also going to take the Hunger Blade, because the Hunger Blade is going to use up buffs. We could go for a Falcon Blade type situation into a Bloodthorn, so maybe the rat chef might not be a bad call still. Now I think I'm going to go a bit crazy. I'm thinking I'm going to take the storage as well. As for the armor, I'm not thinking about adding it in. I'm going to have our puzzle bag in here to target basically cards. Well, one card, our slime time, and our little tussbucker for now. We're going to craft up that card goobert, we're going to craft up our Falcon Blade, and yeah, we're going to move on. So we're going to get rid of our tussbucker in the next round anyway. But with this, we should be able to get a card goobert, stack up a lot of power, and we should be able to beat down our opponents relatively easily. Potentially, hopefully. We'll see. I say easily, definitely not the case, but it's going to be awesome. Like, can we take on this ranger with shielded, with that leather armor? Potentially. And you know what? It's not looking close whatsoever. Smashing even. Now we did get a squad. We're getting all the animals. That is not the animal we're going to be looking for. Well, let's take our Hunger Blade. Let's almost sell our Hunger Blade. Let's sell that. And we're going to have our item situation more like this, because then we can speed up our Falcon Blade along with our slime time. We're definitely going to need this pineapple. And we're going to need to move our Set Blueberries into this position. As for armor, might as well sell it. Let's take another Lucky Clover. And let's keep rolling for now. But yeah, might as well add this in. We're going to move on. We do need to find our hedgehogs, but this should be smashing, to be honest, because our Falcon Blade is going to trigger twice. It's perfect for the card gooberts. It's going to activate a lot of Empower Force. It's going to cleanse that cold that stacks up from our opponent as well. So we should have lots and lots of damage. That's for sure. And if we do get regen, we should be able to stack up our Vampirism, keeping us healthy as well. But we do have a choice to make. We could take Double Rainbow and get as much buffs as possible from it. We could take Guard Power, which Guard Power doesn't really do much for us. It would stack up a regen, so we can get some Vampirism. We could also take Turn Burst to try to stun our opponents, or we could take Unidentified Skill and gamble. I think I kind of want to gamble, but Double Rainbow is also not that bad, because it could give us some more power. So I think I'm going to take that. Let's take a rat. Let's take another Set Blueberries. Let's roll again. Another pineapple. Hell yeah. Let's also grab you too. Does give us another puzzle bag of love, which we probably should actually take. For now, I'm going to move on with this. So we should be able to get a lot of spikes, a lot of vampirism, lots of power. We should be pretty darn smashing. And since we're going to have a faster slime time as well, we should be able to get a lot more power, because it's triggering less than 1 second. Our opponent does have a lot of damage, and we don't have a whole lot of survivability, so it's looking kind of scary. Now we do get a Demonic Flask. We also get a bird as well if we do want it. I said Demonic Flask, I meant Divine Pot, which I don't really want. Now we could honestly get rid of this and craft up, or take the Impacted Large Greatsword, which I'm not going to take. We also really want crits. Hell yeah. Let's roll again. It's another pineapple, but we need our hedgehogs. We need our hedgehogs. We just need to find them. We're going to try our best to find them. But the crits is going to be awesome, that's for sure. Because once we stack up 10 mana, our blueberries is going to be giving us our stacking crits. But right now we only have about 36% chance to crit. But not looking too bad still. And hell yeah, we got our first hedgehog. Smashing. Let's grab our stamina sack as well. Those gives a puzzle bag of endurance, which actually works pretty decently with our card coopers. We also got our glowing crown for some invulnerability. But I also really want to grab this so we can craft up a red archer's collar. Now I'm going to sell our stamina bag because I'm going to be taking this puzzle bag of endurance for now. Because the card cooper doesn't heal anyway. And we can have a banana in like so. And we get a bit more heal from this as well. Now am I going to take the glowing crown for some invulnerability? I think I'm going to. But we probably need that mana orb that we didn't take. Glowing crowns with double amounts of energy, especially with a puzzle bag of endurance. We should be able to get a lot of damage reduction for a long period of time. But we should be able to get even more empower stacked up since we're going to have longer duration on the card cooper. And deal some awesome damage, hell yeah. Now we managed to make it 10 wins without getting our Hyper Hedgehog, which is a bit crazy. And we do have a 49 DPS at this point in the game. Falcon Blade, Hunger Blade, honestly card cooper, Falcon Blade. Really nice combo. Now as for heals, we only got 20 heal per second with 27 max health gained. Master block, not a whole lot of blocks, so defenses on the super low side. But we got a red archer's collar, we also got our Hyper Hedgehog, which is going to be awesome as well. So grab a glowing crown, let's roll. Come on, let be Amity Wilds. Amity Feasting's actually pretty darn smashing. Now I'm going to want to grab another rogue paw, but we are going to move on with this. So the Hyper Hedgehog is going to deal 10 effect damage every 5 seconds. It's down to every 3.3, and it's going to deal 0.5 damage per spike and +1 damage per empower. So it's going to be dealing some big damage potentially, if we stack up a lot of empower, and awesome. And I want to grab as much of these as possible. Let's grab you, let's roll. We do get another glowing crown, which honestly at this point, I'm going to take another one. Let's roll again, and yeah, we're going to move on once again. Now we are going to begin a Spike Staff, Dibbered Guardian with a Falcon Blade and a Mana Thirst. They're also going to have a ton of lifesteal, so they're going to be way super defensive. They're going to stack up a lot of damage, and I think we could be in big trouble again this point. Now we do get invulnerability for such a long period of time, and I didn't place it inside our puzzle bag of endurance, which is not so great. Now I'm going to take this storage. Let's take more storage. Let's roll. Shiny ball for instant mana. Let's keep going. We do get more crits. But I really do want to find our hedgehog, so I might not take it. As crazy that is, these collars are busted. I think I'm still going to have to take the collar, unfortunately. Let's roll again. Yes, our hedgehog is going to be moving a little bit slower, but we should be able to get a lot more lifesteal by having 2 red archer's collars. But I am going to venture on with this. We do have our glowing crowns in the right position right now, and we should be able to stack up our buffs as well. So we should be in a pretty good spot, except our opponent is going to be stealing a lot of our buffs with these amethyst wolves. And since they're dragons, unfortunately they do burst us down. Since they stole all our buffs, we didn't get as much mana. Now there's no point in taking more rogue pots because we need to find our hedgehog. Can we find one more? I'm only going to take the hedgehog. Hell yeah. Can we find another one? Maybe not. But we're going to get a second hedgehog. And yeah, we're going to move on with this. Now this hedgehog is going to be moving a little bit slower since it is going to be away from our Falcon Blade, which is not ideal, but once we get our second Hyper Hedgehog, it should be awesome. Now we are going to begin a Hammer Dagger action with lots of stun chance, and unfortunately, that's 100% stun chance by the way. So we just could not keep up with that, unfortunately. Now it keeps giving us stamina pots, which is kind of crazy. Let's grab the mana orb, let's roll again. And I was almost missing our hedgehog. The only thing with our setup, a red archer's collar, is not going to be targeting this Falcon Blade, unfortunately. But it's going to have to do. Can we roll once more? Find one more, actually. Let's just take 50 more block. And yeah, we're going to get a third one. And we're going to see if it's going to be good enough, because we've actually lost 2 rounds. Now, we did move our puzzle bag over to our Hyper Hedgehog. So we tried to move these a little bit faster. But they move pretty slow at the very beginning, but after that first 5 seconds, they should be moving a lot faster. Except that's a lot of cold on us. We do get invulnerability, which is awesome, but they have slowed us down by quite a bit, which could be problematic. But that's some big damage coming from our side. And actually, hell yeah. Definitely not close after that. We're going to get our extra Hyper Hedgehog. Maybe we actually want our Hyper Hedgehog situation to be more like this instead. Because then they're inside a ranger bag. Well, actually, one is still inside a ranger bag. And if you place that in there, then... Well, let's grab this. Come on, be Amid Wells. It's of Alchemy, not so great. Another glowing crown for even more vulnerability. I'm gonna take it. Anything else we really want? Not exactly. If we did have one more rounds, I would gladly craft up this rat chef. Now, do we want to grab and protect our greatsword? Because it is going to be a lot of damage. It would be nice to add into the builds. And we probably should. And that is one final hedgehog. Do we say goodbye to this? We could sell our stuns. We could actually sell our rat. And we can sell our Amulet of Alchemy. Now, this glowing crown really wants us in here. But then we lose our double rainbows effect. But it would be a lot more vulnerability. I mean, we could move our double rainbow into this situation. We don't get our vampirism, but we stack up a little more mana, so we get our vulnerability a little bit easier. And I think this is going to be pretty darn smashing. Now, if we did take one more rogue pot, we could have crafted up another one, but we did only get our hedgehog in the final rounds. But let's go and see if it's going to be good enough. One more roll. And we could grab another pineapple for even more spike stacking, which would be awesome as well, but maybe even crafting up a blood turn. Let's go. Let's actually grab the shiny shell and add it in because it does increase the speed on our double rainbow as well. But yeah, let's go. Now I'm going to slow this one down because we are going to be getting double chin ups. Shielded moon shield. They're going to be blocking on the damage. These are going to be blocked as well, which is not going to be so great. And since we're going to be stealing a lot of our buffs, we could be in huge trouble. Potentially. And they're going to have tons and tons of block. Lots of healing reduction. We do get invulnerability though. They have crazy absurd amount of block. Can we keep up? Maybe. During the battle rage, they're going to be taking a lot less damage thanks to this freaking badge rune. They're going to be inflicting a lot of debuffs that we do cleanse with our card Goobert also. But our stamina is decreased by quite a bit. We got lots and lots of power. Is our hedgehogs going to deal some big damage? Because since we have no vampirism, no luck, we're not going to get much lifesteal or crits on our hyper hedgehog. Which is really not great. Definitely not great. And our opponent does have 570 max life. But our hyper hedgehogs does give us block and it gives us empower. And we got lots of spikes and we can answer back with these hyper hedgehogs. And we're dealing some big damage right now. And actually, not looking too bad still. Hell yeah. Smashed even. Now unfortunately the DPS is going to be a lot lower since they have so much shields. So much damage reduction. But our DPS actually still ended up to be about 60 DPS. I mean, they did block 20 of our DPS, which is mad. And they also had even more damage reduction with those caps, with those badge runes. So our DPS would still even be higher. Now our heal is going to be relatively low since our opponent did remove a lot of our buffs and had so much heal reduction anyway. But we're kind of relying on grabbing a bunch of vampirism. Basically from our Hunger Blade and trying to get some regen from Big Ball Treats. Definitely not the best plan. That's our block. We managed to get 190 block being our hyper hedgehogs and our normal hedgehog. But each hyper hedgehog did add 15 DPS, which is actually kind of awesome. And our main source of defenses was invulnerability with a glowing crown, which does give us enough time to beat down our opponent. And then once we do drop below that HP, we get a ton of block, we get a lot of power, and we get even more spikes. But anyways, with this 3 lives left, let's go and see just how much rank points we manage to get. Plus 27. Ranking us up to platinum. Hell yeah. But I'm going to leave you here for now. Just want to say thanks for watching. And if you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, comment, or even consider subscribing. And I hope you look up for the next one. I'll see you next time. Now, can we deal with the Berserker's double axe type build? With an anvil, they're going to resist a lots of debuffs. They're going to make this super fast. They're going to be inflicting cold. They're going to be attacking through armor. But they do get invulnerability with the King's Crown as well. They also reduce healing as well. But we do have a ton of... Holy moly, that was big damage. Now, can we deal with this Crossblade's piercing arrow type builds? I mean, they're going to have crit chance, they're going to have lots of damage. Steel Goobert is going to give them a lot of scaling damage as well. And they're going to have lots and lots of damage, but we also have lots and lots of damage as well. So, smash it. Now, we're going to be getting a cold stack in Burning Blade type build. They already have 38 cold on us, which is going to be problematic because we're going to go super slow. It does take us time to stack up our mana. We do get our vulnerability right now, but these are really going to save because we're going so slow. They do got a lot of heat. That's a massive damage from our side. With a big old crit. Holy moly. Although it's looking kind of scary. But we just barely outpaced our opponent. Which is kind of awesome.